That chain is like a living thing.
All right, enough of this. No more of this senseless fighting, okay? If I hadn't gone easy on you, you'd be dead by now.
Easy on me. That's it. This time do your worst. Attack with all your might. Let's see if you can kill me!
Hey there everybody, it's DreamSword. Here for another action figure review actually. I didn't expect to really make any more after the late April Fool's vid. But, you know, a buddy of mine, he really wanted to see the, what we got here, which is the Mythcloth EX Shun from Saint Seiya. Because there's really not any, or at least last I checked, there's really not any English reviews of this figure. And he's a big Saint Seiya fan, so he wanted to see all the details and whatnot. And as for me, I got this figure because Shun is my favorite character from Saint Seiya. That said, I haven't watched the show in full since for 10 plus years. So on that note, in this review, if I get any terminology or whatnot wrong, forgive me, it's been a while. I've been meaning to rewatch the show, but I've been busy with other stuff. So yeah, apologies for that. Still gonna do my best though. So yeah, let's just get right into it and look at what this $80 figure has in store for us. Alright, so starting with the box here, we get a way bigger box than what I'm used to from Tamashii Nations, or as they're called now, Bandai Spirits, because I've always gotten like their SH Figure Arts line, which is kind of different from this, but not really. So yeah, we got this cover art here, which shows the statue. You can put all the cloth pieces on together to make that, or you can put them on Shun here. You'll see what I mean in a second, showing off the figure and whatnot. On the top, we just have an insignia here. On the bottom, you just have all the general info stuff and another picture of Shun there. And on the sides, you have, you know, Saint Cloth Myth. It doesn't say EX, but Andromeda Cloth, which Andromeda Shun, this is what this is. Picture of Shun there on the back, looking pretty good. And then on the back, we have some more poses and the armor looking like purple almost because of the lighting. And showing you some of the different accessories and all that you can get. So, with that out the way, let's get this guy out the box and take a look at him. Alright, so here's Shun out the box. You're probably going to notice a few things about him right away. So, one thing I've come to learn when it comes to the Mythcloth series is one of their gimmicks is that now, some of the things you might have noticed is that there's like little holes all over him and whatnot. Like right there, for example. And that's because one of the gimmicks is that for the Saints, you can take their armor on and off. So you can have this like jumpsuit thing if you want to display him that way, or you can put the armor on him, or if you want to put it on the statue, because in the show, all the cloths, they made these statue things when not in use, which is pretty cool. So my one thing, well, there's a couple things actually, because it's a cool idea. Granted, not many people are going to display their figures, I imagine, like this. I would probably be one of the few people who would want to. But there's some issues. So first off, there's nothing really wrong with the sculpt, I think, or the colors. Now, I did look up some reference photos of Shun, because again, it's been a long time since I watched the show, but I remembered his hair being a darker green, so I did look up some clips online. And basically what it ends up being is, it depends on the episode. In some episodes he had a lighter green like this, in others he had a darker green. It just depended. And I do know that, because this is the third version, I think, of the Shun figures that they've done. And I think the version 2 had the darker green hair. Me personally, I prefer that, just because it provides a better contrast for his bright pink armor. But whatever. Overall, I think they got the likeness down pretty well. Now, with the detail, there's just two issues I got. First off is right here. I don't know if it'll show up on camera really, because Shun's hair kind of puts a shadow over it. I don't know if you can really see that there, but there's printing on his back. I hate that. Again, granted, most people aren't going to have him posed like with the back like this. And also, you know, if you do have his armor on, you can see there's a peg there. It'll cover up the printing, yeah. But that's still annoying. I think all printing for figures, if they're going to be on them, should be on the bottom of the feet. Just my personal preference. That said, that brings us to the other thing. Let's say you're like me and you'd want to display your figure like this, right? Well, that's kind of ruined by the feet. They don't have, and I'll talk about it kind of more a little in the accessories part, but they don't have replacement feet, and I don't see why, because you have to take his feet off anyway to slip the armor on. See, they're specifically designed for that. So why not just give us a pair of like bare feet or like slipper shoes or something, so that way we can complete the whole look, and if we want, have him posed next to, you know, the cloth that he's not wearing. Well, I guess I can't complain too much. Again, because, you know, most people aren't going to have them displayed like that, but it would be nice, you know. Other than that, though, yeah, I mean, some better paint shading here and there would probably go a long way, too. But as for what it is, I mean, and you'll see it more when I get the armor on him, but, like, the very nice pearlescent pink on the armor really stands out. And contrast with the door colors, again, some shading would be nice. One thing, too, which is kind of an issue, but it's probably just specific to mine. Okay, so you see the arm here. Looks fine. Now look at this one. The bicep is, like, very... I don't know if it'll really show up on camera, but the bicep is, like, very slightly off-center for his right bicep. I think I might have two left ones. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell for me, but granted, it's not a huge deal. It's still functional. And, you know, once he's posed, you can't really tell anyway. But, like, yeah, it's just a little note. And plus, too, at least, not so much for this arm, but for this one, his arm, like, curves outward slightly. I don't know if you can notice that. But, yeah, it again, not a huge deal. It's just something I noticed when looking at it, and it kind of bugs me. But, what can you do? But overall, detail very nice. I'll have pictures of him and his armor later. And speaking of detail, I figured I might as well show you guys on camera here just in case. Look at how much light reflects off this thing. It's so shiny, I love it. But yeah, this is all of the armor pieces pre-built onto the statue form. You know, the cloth, whatever. Sorry. And the chains are not wrapped like that by normal. I wrap them like that, of course. You guys will wrap them however you want. I just kind of did what I thought looked cool. But yeah. Really shiny, really nice. This thing really pops out. I love it. Like I said, I actually would probably display my Shun in his street clothes, quote-unquote, with this side by side. But yeah, very nice detail. Very, very shiny. I love the lines right here on the helmet. I don't know if it'll really show up on my camera. I'll try to get it to focus. Come on, focus, please. Whatever. I don't know. But, yeah, really awesome. Really love how this thing turns out. It really pops out. So, love that. So, speaking of feet and his armor and whatnot, what accessories does he come with? Well, he comes, of course, with all of his armor pieces and the statue bit that it comes with here. And, he also comes with 3 different hair parts for when he's got the armor on. He comes with 3 different faces, a stern face, a teeth-gritted face, and a yelling face. Speaking of his armor, he's got 2 different sets of gauntlet pieces, actually. For the back of his hands, I think they're just replacement pieces in case you lose the first 2, which is nice. And then for the forearm part of the gauntlet, he has versions where chains are part of them, and where chains aren't. And then he also comes with 2 fist hands, you know, the 2 ones that come for his unarmored appearance, 2 fist hands for his cloth full on, 2 gripping hands for his change, 2 style pose hands, and 2 sets of open hands. Me personally, I would have liked an eyes closed face, but that's just kind of, you know, I could see, it's not really necessary, but I think it'd be nice. And also, like I said, I would really like, you know, 2 human, like, bare feet or just shoes to replace this, because it really does kill the look, in my opinion. But what can you do? You also get 3 sets of Nebula chains, which is pretty cool. You have 1 that is an actual chain, so you can have him grip it and hold it and pose it however you want. You have one that is already pre-posed in a style pose or a battle pose, whatever you prefer. And you also have one that's totally made of plastic for if you want the chain to swirl around him, like Shun was known to do, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that's all the accessories. Alright, so here's Shun with his Andromeda cloth fully on, and I gotta say, aesthetically speaking, like I noted with the cloth in its statue form, I do really like how it looks. This thing definitely will pop off on a shelf or in a display. I love the pearlescent pink, I love the metallics, all that stuff. It looks great. Functionally, however, is a different thing, but we'll get to that later. But yeah, just get a little bit of a close-up here. Hair totally covers the back, and try to lift it up a little bit. No printing on the back of the armor. Great stuff. Now, that said, one thing I will say is that, as you can see, he's top-heavy, so getting him to stand is kind of annoying sometimes. But outside of that, this is actually a lot more annoying to all put together than you might think, because, like, every little section you can think of is a separate piece. Like, even as I'll note in the accessories, even the back of the hands here are separate pieces that you gotta click in there. That said, it is very show accurate. It looks very nice. So, again, I imagine most people will display him or any Saint Seiya figure really like this. But me personally, I prefer the unarmored look, and there's a very good reason why. But we'll get into that when we talk about articulation. So, until then, alright, so for Shun's height, looks like he's about going from the top of his head. Just a little shy of 6.5 inches, kind of. And then that will make him about 17.5 centimeters-ish. I don't know, judge that for yourself on eyesight. Anyway, here's some height comparisons. Again, I don't own any other Saint Seiya figures, so, you know, I assume it scales with the rest of the line, but I can't say for sure. But here's a bunch of other figures if you want to see. So here he is compared to a bunch of SH figure arts over here. We've got Takuto from Star Driver, we have Goku from Dragon Ball Z, we have Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z, and we have Straight Cougar from Scride. Alright, and here's another one for you. Alright, so now for some bigger scale figures on the two sides here. We have the Marvel Legends Black Suit Spider-Man and Kraven the Hunter. And then more towards the middle, we have the Dragon Stars, Clone Frieza, and Clone Mystic Gohan. Alright, so one more comparison I think should be good. And last for the height comparisons here, we have on the sides here, we have the Robot Spirits Turn A Gundam and Hero Man, and then towards the middle we have the Super Action Statue, Jonathan Joestar, and the Figma Tekkaman Blade. Alright, so I think that's good enough height comparisons. Let's move on. Alright, so last we've got articulation, and you're going to have to, keep in mind that articulation is going to be different based on both his jumpsuit here and also his armor. I might do both. Maybe not, depends. We'll see. But, so yeah, also keep in mind that due to his hair, for both, head's going to be limited a little bit. So, moving up and down, he can look up actually a pretty fair amount despite the hair, surprisingly, because of the way they did it, so that's cool. Looking down, he can look down a little bit. I've seen worse, so I can deal with that. You can go side to side, pretty alright. Move it all around pretty well. Okay, cool. On the arms, he's got these. I've never seen this before. He's got these ball joints for his butterfly joints, and you can rotate the shoulders all around, no real issue. You can get full 360, move it up and down, bring the arms across the chest, no problem. All that stuff. You have your bicep swivel right here. You have double jointed elbows, which work pretty well, actually. That's pretty damn good. Okay, so then as for the hands, you have a ball hinge as per the standards, so move it all around along the hinge, all that stuff. No issues there. Alright. Oh, and you can also look how high you can raise his arms. That's actually pretty cool. Although that said, it's kind of unnecessary on Shun if you're going to have him raise his arm in the air and then have the chain swirling around him, as some would do, I would imagine. Alright, so for the torso joint here, you can move it pretty well, leaning side to side, little bit. Leaning both joints back, he can go back about that much. Forward, he can only crunch forward a little bit. That kind of sucks. There is a twist. Pretty good one, actually. As for the waist here, there is a twist, but it's like really, really slight. Like barely even there. So I don't know what's up with that. But yeah, as you saw too, back, forward, side to side, you can do that. It's fine. And then as for the hips, they're kind of similar to the Kamen Rider hips, actually. So you can bring it forward just slightly less than horizontal, which is fine. Shun, I don't think, is known for his like high kicks, so whatever. Moving it back just a little bit. He's also got upper thigh swivel, which works perfect. No issues there. Alright, and then double jointed knees, which work really well. Look at that, all the way back. And then we have, of course, the boot cut swivel here, because you have to be able to take the feet off anyway to slide his armor on. And then for ankles, you can move it up really well, move it back really well, and then you get an ankle rocker, which actually functions pretty dang good. And I think you can even, can you put it out? No, not really. Like, it kind of moves slightly, but not really. Might as well not even be there. And then you have toe hinge, which, I mean, it's not bad. I could see some use for it. So, yeah, overall, the articulation on this guy, pretty good. It's what you would expect from an SH Figure Arts or, you know, Tamashii Nations figures in general. Because that's kind of what these are. It's just, that's what Mythcloth is, at least from my impression. Maybe I'm totally off and you guys can correct me, but it's basically the SH Figure Arts specifically for Saint Seiya. So, yeah, really good articulation. Alright, and now for articulation on Shun. His full cloth form, anyway. So, here's the thing. All that great articulation that you saw with the unarmored look, forget about it. Well, most of it anyway. And, you know, it's not completely Tamashii Nations or Bandai Spirits, whatever they're going by now. It's not completely their fault, because they do have to be show accurate. They do have to implement the gimmick of being able to put the armor on and off yourself, all that jazz. So I am giving them a little bit of leeway, but it still is a pretty big detriment. And let's just kind of go over why. So first and foremost, I do want to note on the gauntlets here, like the forearm part, there is, of course, the version that has the chains already hooked in. I have the normal ones on just because I felt like the chains would get in the way for this section. But, you know, that option's there, and if you want to count that as articulation, you can. Okay, great. So, next up, we're going to start from the bottom down, because here's the thing. Waist down, the articulation is really not hindered a lot. Like, it's very minimal hindrance. Like, for the leg here, instead of bending all the way back because of the armor, it is only mostly back. Oh no, you know, like, who cares? Like, even the feet, I expected these little knobs here to get in the way, but I didn't really notice a difference. So if they do, it's like very minor. So whatever, props there. Where we get into the issue is the top half of him. So, like, for example, here the head. That great head articulation. Both because of the helmet, the back of the hair, the front of the hair, all that. You can move the head a little bit, but not really. Like, looking up and down, good luck. He's just going to look basically straight ahead. But if you want to rock him back and forth, I mean, yeah, you get a little bit of play, but again, it's hindered by the hair, mostly. So next is the shoulder pads, and yeah, they are on hinges, so you can work with them a little bit there. But they're still going to get in the way, so like, trying to raise his arm, now less than horizontal, and before he could reach all the way up here. It's like a total opposite. It sucks. You can still do a full rotation, no problem, although the hair gets in the way slightly. And you can still rotate the shoulder. But, yeah, when it comes to raising the arm up, not going to happen. And, let's see, does the butterfly, well, yeah, you can still work with it, so that's fine. Still, again, it's due to the design of the thing from the show, so I'm not giving them too much crap for it, but still. And so next, speaking of which, abdomen here. You see that great torso joint we covered. Leaning back isn't too bad, as you see there, but leaning forward, because of both the belt and the lower part of the armor here, not happening. He is not going to crunch forward at all in this form. So, yeah, it's definitely unfortunate. I mean, it's understandable, don't get me wrong, but this is the main reason why me personally, I wish there were more options for his unclothed appearance. Like, more hands or something, because, like, and especially the feet. Because, like, I love being able to do super dynamic poses with my figures. That's just a me personally thing. But with this, not really. Like, yeah, you're going to be able to get him into, like, Shun's more iconic poses. Yeah, don't get me wrong. But for people who like to do something a little bit different or unique, good luck. Like, maybe you can show me a thing or two. I don't know. But like I said, when it comes to normal Shun-esque poses, you should still be able to work with it. So, I'm about to show you some of those right now. No, sorry. I said I wasn't going to do that anymore. My bad. Okay. But yeah, moving on. Alright, so that was my review of the Mythcloth EX Shun Revival version. Hope it was informative enough for you guys. If there's anything I left out, feel free to just ask, and I'll just answer you in the comments or whatever. Overall, I would, if you're a Saint Seiya fan or a Shun fan, yeah, I would say pick it up. It's not without its flaws, but it's pretty damn good for what it is. So, my personal rating, I would give it a 5 out of 6. I don't regret making the purchase at all. So, yeah, if there are any other figures that you guys have seen that you might want me to review, or if you want me to just keep reviewing figures in general, let me know. I'm kind of considering it, but I'm kind of on the fence about it. Whatever. Anyway, till next time, guys.